Hey YouTube and caymanas back turf fights, welcome back to Down the Stretch. I'm the host Christopher Charlton. I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, although I'm doing this race analyst before today's Tuesday, so I'm doing this on Tuesday, which is race day, but this is in the morning. But I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas. Let's start off. This is Thursday, December 26th, Boxing Day. So let's get right into the first race, which is 3 years and up, claiming 750,000, 13 starters, and they go 7 furlongs. I'm boiling this race down to 4 horses: the 3 Sir John, the 8 Crimson, the 10 Big Daddy, and the 13 Colorado Ranger. Let's not waste any time. I don't want to really make this video go too long. Okay, first up, Sir John. Sir John, this is what you call Sir John's favorite trip at this level. 7 furlongs, runs his best races here. His last win was 19th of October at this distance when stalking Speedster Anonymous, then quickening and opening up to win very impressively. Came back a month later, same distance, but this time he broke very slow at the starting gates, wasn't able to get into his position early, and as you can see, it was a slower pace, slower time, got beaten a length and a quarter, was staying on, but had a poor start. This time from a clean break. Basically the field is similar to when he won. Definitely Sir John in here with a big chance once again. The 8 Crimson was banging form when he ran up into Sir John at on the 19th of October. Crimson has turned out to be a horse that likes to go to the pace early. He used to be a horse that used to sit at the back and then run on, but with age he has developed some speed. But ran into Anonymous on the 19th of October when he was looking for 4 consecutive wins, and Sir John won easily. Came back on the 16th of November in that same race with Sir John where Nakamura won. Tried to go early once again. Lost his position, was rallying back in the stretch to be beaten 3.5 lengths. Another run like that expects to see Crimson here, but the only thing, Anonymous is now in the field once again, so that might be a little question sign for Crimson if the pace is too hot. The 10 Big Daddy. This is the lowest Big Daddy has been in his career. Mostly running overnight and open allowance company. Came down to caymanas, didn't do anything. On the 12th of October, did run his best race in many moons when leading all the way to the final furlong and a half before being passed by Gilbert and March and Shoot, who are much better horses than these here. They've removed the visors and put the blinkers back on like what he had on that day when Omar Walker rode him. And I think from a more patient ride by Walker, not getting involved in Anonymous and Russia the Warrior speed duel, which I think is what's going to happen early. So Sir John and Crimson might have to try to chase those speedsters in the early stage. If Big Daddy is allowed to just sit just off that lead, I think we're going to get the best run from Big Daddy in a very, very long time. And that's a horse I think I really like in this race, being this low in the claiming ranks. And the 13 Colorado Ranger. Tevin Foster now has this ride for Boris McIntosh. Nothing on his last run in August. A $1 million claimer, beaten by Rani Bangali and Burn Notice. Before that, at this level at 7 furlongs, was a very easy winner, beating Inspired Miracle and Sir John, and he won very, very comfortably in that race. That race he was on the lead quite early, but he's a horse known to sit off the pace. If you notice, back in April at this level, at this distance, he came from off the pace to beat Dodges Link and Crimson. So once a focused Colorado Ranger turns up, and I think he's focused because Tevin Foster takes this ride, busy at exercise, so we know he's sound, working well. Definitely I think Colorado Ranger is in here with a good shot. So those are the 4 I'm working with. The 3 Sir John, the 8 Crimson, the 10 Big Daddy, and the 13 Colorado Ranger. I think the winner comes from one of those. I don't really want to stick my neck out and say this horse looks like a sure thing, but I think the winner comes from one of them. Outsider for the Superfecta and High Five are going to squeeze Rusty in it. And the reason being for me putting Rusty in this is because if you notice, Rusty, last start from Rusty was the 23rd of November. That was in a 5 furlong straight race, and Rusty reared horribly at the gate. Didn't have no chance in that race, and that was a $1 million claimer. because his last win was April, the race before that at 400,000, where he won very easily. Came off of that long rest. They put him in this 5 straight at $1 million claimer. So I think this is more like a run. They're giving him a run. So I'm liking him based that exercise as an outsider to coming the high 5 and superfecta. I'm going to use Rusty. The second race, it's a 5 years and up optional claimer, 180,000. 6 years and up now have 3. 6 starters, 5.5. Very cheap bunch of horses here. So really want to stick on this too much. The 3 horses that I boil it down to is going to be the 1 Storm Valley, the 3 Beautiful Brand, and the 4 ZI. Storm Valley, impressive win and last at this 180. Thinking a kind of lower bunch of horses, lower bunch of 180 horses, was a very impressive winner over the straight. Going 5.5 furlongs now. That's a question sign for me. Going around the bend, his last win around the bend was back in August. And I don't know, horse like this now you have to only take on trust, but Tevin Foster has the ride for Ryan Darby, so I guess that's a plus for Storm Valley, that a jockey that's riding for the championship going to take a chance on a horse like this, so you can't leave Storm Valley. The 3 Beautiful Brand win on last at this level, 5.5 furlongs, so he went around the bends very fast, opened up on the lead and won, but still a very cheap bunch of horses. But he's probably the most consistent horse in the race, so you can't leave him out. Has Demar Williams to claim 4 off of his weight, so I use him because he's the speed horse in the race. And the horse that I like in the race is ZI. Disappointed and last at 1-5, which is crazy to gamble at 180 claimer down to 1-5, and he lost by 2.5 lengths. Wasn't embarrassed. T Foster, as you can see, is not on him anymore. He's gone for Storm Valley, but I still like this ZI. Comes in with the top weight because probably he's the top rated horse here. TJ Suko gets the right to claim 4 for Michael Marlowe. At least he's at the exercise track trotting and things, so I like ZI. I'm going to give ZI an excellent shot at getting the job done here. So those are the 3 I'm working with. The 1 Storm Valley, 3 Beautiful Brand, 4 ZI. If there's a spoiler in the exacta, a long shot I'd probably use catching them exacta them is the 6 April Spirit. You know, I'd probably catch a exacta with ZI April Spirit for a long shot purposes, but it's a cheap race, so I don't even think I'm going to buy it. The third race, native bred 3-year-old maiden fillies, 10 starters, 6 furlongs, and boiling this one down to 4. The 1 Lady Sarasuta, unless she wins on Tuesday. The 2 Dove, the 3 Queen Vana, and the 4 Tornado Steel. Okay, Lady Sarasuta, she's going to race Tuesday, so she might win, but if she doesn't, well, she will have a shot here again. My only problems with Lady Sarasuta is going around the bends, because, well, we'll see Tuesday. She tends to want to run wide when coming off of the turn, which causes her lengths. This is 6 furlongs. Once she keeps a straight course, she's drawn inside, so the other horse is outside of her. If she has somebody to go with her early, keep her balanced around that bend, she might take the corner and then prove tough to beat. But if she comes around the bend and drifts off again, that could be her undoing once again. The 2 Dove, nothing in the last 2 starts. Last good race was back in September 14th, went 4th by 4 3/4 lengths to My Sunshine, Blood Moon, and Mila K. And gets Everett Clunis. They've changed the equipment, so they've taken off the blinkers and they've put back on the tongue tie. So expecting a much better run here from this Dove. The 3 Queen Vana, Christopher Mamdine for O'Neill Martland. Stepping back down to 6 furlongs now. Last one at 6 furlongs was 3rd by 9.5 lengths to Golden Lawyer, Dream to Reality. Stripped fitter since the last start, and I'm expecting a capital run from Queen Vana at a good price. And the 4 Tornado Steel showed speed and last once again, but was out finished by Blood Moon, finishing 2nd by 5.5 lengths. 6 furlongs is right up Tornado Steel. Ali gets Shane Richardson to claim 2 off of his weight, and probably going to be the horse fighting it out early with Lady Sarasuta. So those are the 4 I think the race comes down to. The 1 Lady Sarasuta, the 2 Dove, the 4 Tornado Steel, 3 Queen Vana. Queen Varna, worth a gamble at the price. And remember, if Lady Sarasuta wins, you can cross her out of this. But if she doesn't win on Tuesday, she should have a shot here. Outside of watching the race, I think is going to be the 10 Ruby's Light. Much race horse, this Ruby's Light. Seeing her, she was third and last in a 3-horse race, but she was there pressing the pace for most of the way. So at a dangerous look outsider in case the pace collapse. The 4th race, 3-year-olds and up, optional claimer, 400,000, 5-year-olds and up, 903, 6-year-olds and up, 904, 7 starters, 6 furlongs, and we'll just work this race out to just 3 horses. The 2 Unruly Boss, the 5 Era Fire, and the 6 Sticky Dan. Okay, Unruly Boss, nothing in his last 2 starts. 6 by 10 lengths coming down to when he came down to 400,000. Definitely has the capability of winning this at 6 furlongs. Last win was over the 5 furlongs straight, beating Phoenix Risen and Starmacom, 2 very speedy horses. Won't face speed like that in this race. So with Radish Roman in the saddle for Oral Hayden, definitely Unruly Boss looks like the horse you're going to have to beat. The 5 Era Fire. This horse hasn't won a race in maybe 3 years, this 8-year-old mare. Finally reached down to this level, 400,000. Tevin Foster gets the ride for Michael Spencer. Last run at 550,000 was prominent, was third up to the furlong pole. Behind Eagle One and Emperors of the Cat, not the soundest horses in the world, but they are better than this class. So after that run, I think Era Fire might put in a decent run here, down in class. And the 6 Sticky Dan, very fit horse right now. 3 and a clink on last over the 5 straight against Might Sunshine back on the 14th of December. At this level, Philip Parchment still has the ride. Going to prefer 6 furlongs a lot better than she did the 5 straight. He did the 5 straight, and Sticky Dan is definitely in a big chance to win. So those are the 3 I leave this race up to. The 2 Unruly Boss, the 5 Era Fire, and the 6 Sticky Dan. The 5th race, native bred 3-year-olds, non-runners of 2, good field of 11, 5 furlongs straight. I'm boiling this race down to 5 horses. The 2 Dream to Reality, the 3 Indestructible, the 4 Chinita Estrella, the 8 A Breath of Fresh Air, and the 11 The Miracle Angel. Okay, Dream to Reality. When coming off a slight little break, this horse was second, then a first, and then a third up in class here. Good run, was right in the pace for 4.5 furlongs. Gets visiting Panamanian Ishmael Velasquez, very competent rider. I've seen some races that this guy rides in Panama. He reminds me of, you remember Jorge Campinas? He's flat like Campinas, but his riding style is more like, he looks like Campinas in the saddle, but riding he looks like Cardenas. He has that kind of, it's like between both jockeys, that similarity. But he's very, very good in Panama. Very competent jockey. Dangerous with a front runner, and this horse is a pace horse. So we'll see what he does here with Dream to Reality. I don't know if this is his first ride. I have to check the other program I've been riding on Tuesday. But very good jockey coming down here. So Dream to Reality gets a good morning line, 12-1. So that one looks like he has a chance. The 3 Indestructible, speed is hot, tends to run well over the straight. Last time it was 4th by 2.25 lengths to Justin Big Time. Pineapple was second in that race. Dream to Reality was third. Radish Roman now gets the ride from T. Foster, so he gets back the ride. And over the straight course, Indestructible should run well. The 4 Chinita Estrella, 7 by 8.75 lengths and last at 5.5 furlongs, coming to this level, but has an excuse. Was hindered maybe twice in that race. I put it in my horses to watch. Was hindered out of that race in the Sipping and Sunshine and Adira. Before that was a winner at 5 furlongs round, making all the running. Going to have more speed to contend with here, but did run very well over the straight back in November when beaten a neck by Happy Force. And I think of course is a much better horse than Nuns of 2 in my opinion. So I think this Chinita Estrella is definitely in it with a shot and gets a good money line price of 8-1. The 8, A Breath of Fresh Air, also a horse I mentioned in horses to watch. This horse was battered and bruised going 9.5 furlongs when the gates opened around the backstretch. So beating 11 by 70 lengths, I'm going to throw that race out. Comes here now over the straight, which I think he likes. He had a good run over there, went 4th by 3.5 lengths to Hotbread Scammer. Indestructible and Irish Wish came back and was 5th by 7 lengths to Pope's Lady. I'm expecting a good run from this A Breath of Fresh Air. And the 11, the Miracle Angel, 4th and last to Sipping on Sunshine and Adira. Made a big move coming to the top of the lane. I thought was going to win the race. Gets T. Foster now. And drawn wide. So from a clean break, I think the Miracle Angel is supposed to fight this one out. So those are the 5 that are working within this race. Don't really want to pinpoint a horse because I'm scared of 2 of them. I'm scared of Chinita Extra and I'm scared of A Breath of Fresh Air. So I don't go out on a limb. But I think the winner comes from one of these. The 2, the Dream to Reality. The 3, Indestructible. The 4, Chinita Estrella. The 8, A Breath of Fresh Air. And the 11, the horse I think they have to beat, the Miracle Angel. The 6th race, native bred 4-year-olds and up Nuns of 2, and imported 4-year-olds maiden. Another big field of 13. 5 furlongs straight. Wow, another straight race. Boil this race down to 4. The 3, Cruising Again. The 4, Maggie's Tricks. The 8, Power of Her Highness. And the 10, Ridgeliner. Okay. Cruising Again. Olin Mullins Farm, Rowan Matty. Throw that last race out against Skies Rizzi at 6.5 furlongs. But look on the race just before that, 5.5 furlongs and second by 3/4 lengths. The Manny Slam had Maggie's Tricks behind there. Last race over the straight was back in July when beaten 5.25 lengths by Princess Ifia and Papa Grey and Toots, speedy horses. So I'm giving him a chance. He does possess some pace, so I think he might take a liking to the 5 straight. So money line says 20-1, so I'll give him a nice outsider shot here. The 4, Maggie's Tricks. 4th and last to Papa Grey and Power of Her Highness. Last time over the straight was 3rd by 11 lengths to Blinking Light, Don Pablo. Fit right now and gets Radish Roman for Dale Murphy. So definitely I think this very fit Maggie's Tricks should be prominent. I think should try to be running on if the pace decides to fall up front. The 8, Power of Her Highness, getting fitter with every run, was 2nd and last by 6 lengths to Papa Grey at 5 furlongs round. Before that was over the 4 furlong straight, was 4th by 6 3/4 lengths to Lambo Girl and Read My Lips. Gets Shane Richardson here for Paul Charlton, and just based off of that last run, and she's busy at the exercise track, I kind of giving this Power of Her Highness a shot, and she might be one of those be able to stalk, stay close to the pace, and if the pace comes back, she might be the one making the first run at the leaders. And the 10, that is Ridgeliner. Laris Allen for Dale Murphy. Came off a year and plus on last over the 4 straight. Not disgrace, beaten only 8.5 lengths by Lambo Girl and Read My Lips. Much better for that pipe opener. Definitely runs over the straight most of his races. Definitely a speed horse. So it's better for that run and show some speed this time around. I'm expecting a much better run from this Ridgeliner. Outsider to watch in the race for your high fives and superfectors is the 9 Storm Boy, who gets the bustling Philip Parchment. Last time over the 4 straight was in that same Lambo Girl race, and I think does possess some speed, so watch out for him at a good price. The 7th race, native bred 2-year-old Futurity Grade 1. It's the Jamaica 2-year-old stakes, and first in a long time I see such a small 2-year-old stakes race. 6 starters going a mile. Let's just run through the field. Alright, the first horse is number 1, Strong Mind, Ryan Lewis for Patrick Lynch. Winner and last, making all the running and hanging on from Ideal Winner. Stretch out now to a mile. I think going to have a little bit more to find, but does have some speed, so might keep the pace honest. The 2, Hazelnut, Dane Dawkins for Richard Azan, one of 2 runners for Azan. Also a very speedy sort. Came to a walk in the stretch going 7 furlongs. Stretched out now at a mile. Maybe I think he's here to be a pace setter for his stablemate. But Dane Dawkins, very competent rider. Maybe different tactics will be used, and they might hold up Hazelnut and try to come with a run. This well-bred daughter of Soul Warrior out of Money Magnet. Hazelnut, the 3, Lovisa, another speedy sort. Stretched out to 7 and last as well, and faltered in the stretch. Haladine for Jason DaCosta. This horse also working well, 7 in 129 in his last workout. So depending on how she sets up, she's bred mainly for short distances. Soul Warrior out of Palace Goal. But definitely going to keep the race running really honest. The 4, Mr. Lee, very impressive win on last. In a pedestrian 130 for 7 furlongs against maidens in the Abigram Memorial Cup. Possibly the best horse I think Lee Clark has trained in many moons. Matthew Bennett rides, and definitely looks like he wants a distance of ground, this Mr. Lee, and although bred to sprint, might show a good running. The 5, Burning Hedge, second and last, made a nice move off the turn. Looked like he had a good chance of winning before Unspun sprouted wings and flew past on the Cardenas. Cardenas still has a ride here. I think he should just about get a mile if ridden from off the pace. I think Burning Hedge should fight this race out. And the horse, I think they are going to have to be Danka. Kind of unlucky on last. When coming with his run, was held up. The first 2 starts went right with the pace. This time was held way off the pace by Tevin Foster. Was coming with a run up on the rail. When he was trying to look for racing room, he bumped into the very burly Unspun, which didn't phase Unspun whatsoever, but it did phase Danka and cause him to have to switch and come with another run, but failed to get close to the winner. Lost by only 2 lengths though. The only problem I have with this Danka, if you know, when I talked about the Mute Mile, Danka doesn't want to change her lead leg, so I'm wondering what's wrong. The first time she won, when she won her race at 5 furlongs round, she changed her lead leg off the turn, but within half a furlong she changed back over to the right lead. And I don't like when horses do that. And then the last time she ran, she didn't change her lead at all, even after being bounced. But she's very well bred. She's out of Avino Malcano, who I think is a fantastic stallion we have here, by Baby P. Market Rally. The mare side is a definite sprinter, but she looks to be have some worth. But the only problem I have with her, she's not changing her lead leg. But she worked very well coming into the race, so she looks sound. And I think she's the horse they're going to have to beat. So when boil the race down to 3 of them, Danka the horse to beat, Burning Hedge under a more restrained ride, should be coming at them late, and Hazelnut, depending on how Dawkins rides this Hazelnut, I think Hazelnut does have a shot, and Azan has a good chance of running the exacta. The 8th race, native bred 3-year-olds and up, 4-year-olds and non-winners of 4, and imported 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3. 13 starters, 6 furlongs. This is a very interesting contest for me. I boiled this race down to 4. The 3, Fearless Force. The 10, Teflon Don. The 12, Blue Sensation. And the 13, Miss Sherry. Okay, the 3, Fearless Force. Rallish Roman for Philip Fiani. 6 furlongs, no problem to Fearless Force. That's where he won non-winners of 2, beating Francis and Indestructible after breaking slow and finishing with a powerful run to win. Very easily in 114, stepped up in class, went over the 5 straight, ran into speedy El Rapido Commanders here and Midnight Flight, and was 4th by 2 1/4 lengths there after walking out of the gate again. Then stretched out to 7 furlongs, a bit slowly into stride there again, was running on, finished 4 by 4 to Supremacy and Blue Sensation and Mac and Rome. Definitely useful, definitely improving, but needs to come out of those gates sharp. Philip Fiani has now put the visors back on. The last time he had on the visors was at 7 furlongs when running second to Supremacy. So now I'm expecting a capital effort from Fearless Force once she gets a clean start. The 10, that is Teflon Don, beat She's That Girl at 6 furlongs at this level. Came back, stretched out to 7 in that supremacy race. Was prominent and then faded in the stretch. Came back down to 5.5, was coming with a big late kick, coming wide into the turn after a slow start, and She's That Girl turned the tables. 6 furlongs, definitely what he likes. Needs to come out of those gates sharply though, and try to get a good position, and doesn't want to be caught wide. Coming into the turn, should be one of the stronger finishers in the race. Teflon Dan should be running on strong in the end. The 12, Blue Sensation, was charging home, closing at the very, very improved Supremacy and last. Had Macaron behind there. Prefers a little more ground, I think, but definitely has some class. Comes from a stable that has a very good strike rate. Peter John Passad, 59 start, 14 wins. So that's a good strike rate. Although I think 6 furlongs is on the sharp side, I think class, this horse she'll use some class and try to get into it. She'll be coming home late though from that wide draw. She just needs to get a good position, and I'm sure she'll be finishing really strong up the lane. And the 13, Miss Sherry. Now this is a very interesting horse to me now. Richard Azan's Miss Cherry, Dane Dawkins up. 1 Londoners 2 over 4 furlongs straight back in September, beating Indestructible and the Miracle Angel. Stepped up to this level and didn't show any speed in that race, and finished 4th by 4 3/4 lengths to She's That Girl, Motivate Me Baby, and El Rapido. That was in October. Came back November, 6 furlongs. Showed some speed there, but then faded out when Teflon Don won over She's That Girl in the mud. I didn't like how she ran that race, so I'm going to cross that race out. I'm going to throw it out. She came back back in November 23rd over the straight 5 course and got a horrible, she reared horribly in the gate, was way behind them, and she still only got beat 6.5 lengths. That run there tells me that Miss Cherry does have some class about her. She's very well bred, sensational slam out of 50 Shades of Frey. I think this horse is a very decent horse. I don't think 6 furlongs is too long for her. I think if she's ridden the right way from this wide drive, she gets to make, she does have some speed. If she can get to circle the field and go down in contention early, I think she will fight it out. So those are the 4 I think the race is going to come down between. The 3, Fearless Force. The 10, Teflon Don. The 12, Blue Sensation. And the 13, Miss Cherry. Outside possibilities for the Superfecta and High 5, the 8, Hotbread Scammer, who this imported horse does have a lot of ability. Comes in here at what, 42 on morning line. One back in October over the straight. Came back, was only 4 lengths off El Rapido and Commander Z. Then on last at 7 furlongs in the Supremacy. Was way too early for his own good. So I throw that race out. And with Parchment now in the saddle, I'm expecting this Hotbread Scammer to be coming home late at a good price. And the 11, Amazing Force, from Philip Fiani's stable with Richard Henry in the saddle. 3 starts. Second on debut by 8 lengths to Fun Can Done. Came back in February. Was a winner by 3 lengths over Classic Philly Come Home to Me and top 3-year-old Run Julie Run after breaking slow and running on and winning that. Something definitely went wrong. Was put down for 10 months. Came back the 7th of December. Was way behind the field. 16 lengths off them. And only beaten 8 lengths at the finish to Supremacy and Blue Sensation. Now that's a good run coming off of such a long break. So if this Amazing Force is tuned for this race and 31 morning line, don't let this Amazing Force off the bets. I probably might make a wager win and place on this horse if the odds are still like that. Okay, so that's what about that race down to. The 9th, native bred 4-year-olds and up now of 3 and imported 4-year-olds and up now of 2. Another big field of 13, 5 furlongs straight. I worked this out to 5 horses. The 4, Princess Aquila. The 6, Equinox. The 8, Bulletproof Coffee. And the 10, Uncle Nub. And the 13, Kismet. Okay, Princess Aquila. Thereabouts in recent races. Showed in a no-show and last in the race with Manislam at 5.5. I think she's better than that run, so I'm going to give her a pass with that. Shane Ellis now gets right here for Anthony Nunes. Last time over the straight was third, behind Digital Light and Uncle Nub. Expecting another good run from Princess Aquila. The 6, Equinox, was stealing home and last when run down by Manislam and was beaten into second by 3 3/4 lengths at 5.5. Back to her pet trip, a 5 furlong straight where she won her first 2 races. Tevin Foster again has the ride over this galloping course. Equinox should be in contention from the gates open. The 8, Bulletproof Coffee, imported filly, Owen Sharp, Trevor Simpson rides. We know Slicer is dangerous them time of year when he's down here. This horse coming off a break since April when second to Speedy here. Does possess some pace. Has been training well coming into this race. So expecting a good run, although hasn't run so long. Depending how mature she has gotten. I think she should put in a good run. The 10, Uncle Nub. My choice on last, that was caught and beat by Digital Light over the straight on last. Radish Roman now gets the ride. Definitely one of the speedier horses in the race and should be banging contention when this is being decided. Uncle Nub, very dangerous once again. And the 13, another one of my recent selections, Kismet. Bought this horse on last at 5.5 furlongs at 26-1. Looked dangerous turning for home, but then was outkicked by Manislam and Equinox. Finished third. And I always said this horse puts her mind into it. She's going to give a good run. I think she's finally settling down, but she's still jumping bad. And from a clean break, I think she will be coming home fast once again. Outsiders to note for exotic bets. The 3, Princess Rhea, O'Shane Nugent for Omar Williams. Back-to-back wins September and October. 4 furlongs straight, then 5 furlongs round. Then stepped up in class over the 5 straight and wasn't embarrassed. So it was only 4 lengths off Digital Light, Uncle Nub, and Princess Aquila. Freshen up for this, and an outsider possibility here for this Princess Rhea. And the number 12, Golden Syrup, has been here for some time now. Last goodish run was back in the 2nd of November, was 5th by 6 lengths to Sugar, who was a very speedy horse. Before that, over the straight, was 3rd by 12 lengths to Acknowledge Me. It was only 3/4 length off of Princess Aquila. Through those last 2 runs out, she's busy at the exercise track. Gets Romaria Spencer now, Anthony Nunes. So this is another outsider to be careful of. The 10th and final. This is 3-year-olds and up, overnight allowance. 14 starters going 6.5 furlongs. This is the Boxing Day Sprint. I've boiled this race down to 4. The 3, Digital 1. The 5, Unbelievable Force. The 7, Thalita. And the 14, Grecian Light. Okay, Digital 1. Had a poor trip on last. Broke very slow out the gates and then was hindered going into the half-mile turn and lost a lot of ground, and then came home wide and was flying and finished second to the very speedy Bootylicious. That was at 6 furlongs. From a clean break here, I definitely think Digital 1 is going to have an exceptional chance in this event. Facing off against the next horse I like in the race, Unbelievable Force. My nickname for her is the Big Bully. This horse jumps to the lead. You don't want to go with her, you're not going to catch her. But if you put some pressure on her, she might fall. But once again, she's going to be the horse you're going to have to beat, because she does possess some very, very good early pace. And you're going to catch me if you can. So they're going to have to put every foot right to keep pace with her. The 7, Thalita, one-time classic horse. Coming off a slight rest after finishing 6th to Major Danger. But she's a very, very useful horse in her. Last time over the distance, she was a winner, beating Perfect Brew and Press Conference. And so she does have a lot of class. She just looks like she has some problems Worked 1 minute 10 and 4 for 5.5 coming into this race. Tevin Foster has the ride. Expecting a good run from Thalita. I think she'll have to try to chase or try to go with Unbelievable Force. But that's left to be seen if she'll do that. The 14 Grecian Light has ability. Last two starts not too encouraging, but that was over longer distances. Last time at this distance was second to Oasis Jack. Trevor Simpson for Paul Swaby here. Very busy at exercise. I think Grecian Light come very well bred out of Gervin, the Mozin by Uncle Mo. So a very well bred filly. I think this Grecian Light definitely will give a good run in the race. And the outsiders that I would definitely watch out for the exotic bets are the 6 Green Gold Rush, 95 favorite and last, going 7 furlongs in a $1.5 million claimer, did nothing. So even though stepping back up in class, this Green Gold Rush has run in some very good horses, was third to Atomica in the Viceroy Trophy, although beaten far, third to Run Rhythm Buzz and Further and Beyond, beaten far, but those were top class horses. Last win was at this level, beating Get a Pepsi at 6.5. So a long shot to watch. It says 99 to 1 morning line. Could squeeze that one in my high five and superfecta. And the 8 Divine Force from Philip Fair and Ian Spence up. Poor run and last against Bootylicious and Digital One, but didn't have the pace to really match those there. Before that though was fourth to Further and Beyond Mahogany and Mamma Mia at 7.5 furlongs. So after that run, I definitely give him a chance here because that was May and then ran December, so better for that run. At the exercise track, Mr. Fiani has now put back the figure 8 on, which he didn't run it on last, so it wouldn't surprise me if this Divine Force turns up and puts a big performance with the top weight. Okay guys, that's the way I see it. I think the race comes down between one of my top 4, and always be careful of the outsiders to watch. And you guys have a very, very happy holiday, and I hope this new year is prosperous. And as usual, be safe.